while we allow the enemies to continue to run rampage everywhere? How long? How long are we going to continue to allow this war to continue to happen between us? We don't want this. Not now. Not now. This is not what the international communities want to hear from us. This is not what they want to recognize. This is not what they want to see. Why are we trying to make them believe that the propagandas people are pushing against us is true? Why are we trying to make them believe that the lies people are telling against us is true? Let this journey be about Biafra. I have said it several times. There is no law that says that every one of us must think in the same manner. It is not possible. Human beings are created in such a way that everybody has an independent mind. Everybody have an independent thought. That is how human being is created. In as much as possible, you try to marry your thought with someone else. You try to look at people who your thought and your idea are similar with them and work with them. But even in the midst of those who their ideas seem similar, it is not the same. There are still differences. You try to manage the differences. That is what happens. Every group try to manage their differences. Why do you have to take out your own brother simply because he does not agree with your thought? Why do you have to fight against your own brother simply because he did not buy your own idea? Why do you have to take the life of your brother simply because you disagree? There is no law that says people will not disagree. People disagree every now and again. Parents disagree with their children. Siblings disagree. Twins disagree within themselves. Why is it so difficult for us to treat our disagreement with respect to each other? For how long are we going to continue to mark time and fight ourselves instead of fighting our enemies? How long will we continue to fight ourselves instead of fighting our enemies? How long? How long? There are certain news that we're not supposed to be hearing at this point in time after the declaration, with what Mazen Nandekano is going through and what Mazen Simon Epa is going through. There are certain information we're not supposed to be hearing anymore. It does not matter how aggrieved you are. It doesn't matter what your brother says your sister did. You have no reason to take the life of your brother or the life of your sister. Under no circumstance, you have no right to do so. We know there are saboteurs, and we know how to handle the saboteurs when the time comes. We know how to treat the saboteurs when the saboteurs come. And you don't just take somebody's life and claim that he or she is a saboteur because he doesn't follow your own line of thought. Somebody does not just become a saboteur simply because he chose to disagree with what you are saying at that point. That doesn't make him a saboteur. Before somebody will tag as a saboteur, you must know the level of sabotage. It will be very clear to the deaf, the blind, and the sick. Before you can tag somebody a saboteur, you must know. So today, some of those words are being abused in this struggle. That is why people use those words very commonly to satisfy their evil agenda. You see, the common word they use for everybody today, they say, oh, you're working for Nigerian government. They make it so common that it doesn't really have meaning anymore. That when somebody say it, you brush it over and go. Everybody that doesn't agree with you is working with Nigerian government. That was why somebody could boldly say that Mazi Simon Ekpa is working for the Nigerian government and continue to say it, even when Nigerian government today are the one who are looking for his head. They have gone ahead through in their international connections to take him out from our midst. And yet, some people are still holding swear that Mazi Simon Ekpa is working for Nigeria. You can imagine that. Somebody who Nigerian government are looking for day in, day out, who have given Nigerian government sleepless nights. But yet, some people feel comfortable to come and tell you that Mazi Simon Ekpa is working for Nigerian government. Today again, very easy for people to open mouth and say, oh, Dr. Muzo is working for Nigerian government. Oh, she's a Fulani woman. Without any single evidence of proof. That is the most disturbing. Without any single evidence of proof. The same way some of us who are broadcasters. 1 minute today you are a fellow Biafran, they praise you. The next minute they say you are working for Nigerian government. 1 minute you are a good man. The next time, oh, he's working for Nigerian government. Simply because the person decided to follow his or her heart. The angle that she feels or he feels that this is where I understand better. And the next thing they will carry out, oh, he's working for Nigerian government. Oh, they made the word so common that you can't even be able to take them serious anymore, because just like somebody now coming to tell me I work for Nigerian government, I will laugh over it. It doesn't even make me angry anymore. Or they call me a saboteur. It doesn't make me angry because I know people have abused that very word and it doesn't really have meaning anymore. Just like calling somebody a saboteur. People can just call this up simply because of a little argument, disagreement you have with somebody. He will just term you a saboteur and he begin to push the propaganda. The next thing, he begin to cook in lies and blackmail against you. And many people have lost their life because of that. Many people have lost their life for that. When are we going to agree that there are many ways that is leading to one direction? There are many ways. And people are allowed to follow any direction they want to get to that direction. As long as that person is not standing on your way. As long as you're not hindering your brother. The road is so congested. So if people decide to take other means to get to that same direction, why are we worried? Why are you standing on there? Why are you fighting them? Why are you bent on destroying your own brother, your own sister? Simply because they chose to pass a different route. Why? Why is it that some of us do not have that spirit of tolerance? We cannot tolerate. We cannot accept a simple argument and say, what you are supposed to bring your superior argument. If you feel that what this person or this person do, let us allow ourselves to express ourselves and then argue logically with logical argument. You will see somebody who comes with a superior thought and then we can follow. But one disturbing thing is that you will not even allow your brother the audience to explain to you why he or she is doing what she's doing. So many of us they won't even give you the audience to explain. They won't even give you the audience or give you the audience to understand the area you are coming from. They feel they know it all. Anybody that raises his hand to talk, they will push you down. Some of them, because they have attained a certain position. Because you get to a certain position, you now don't want anybody to cross to that direction. You destroy everything on your way, including people you see that has important information, but because you see them as a threat, you feel that when that person now becomes visible, you now become invisible. That people no longer see you. People who are hailing you will no longer hail you anymore. And now you challenge your energy to your own brother. You channel your energy to your own sister. Is that the right way to go? Is that the right way to go? It is not the right way to go. We, the Biafran, have an important assignment that is bordering us on our shoulder. That every single one of us agree that we have to go for freedom. Why are you allowing irrelevant things to distract you? This act of taking the life of your brother or your sister simply because you disagree, is that the way to go? We should have learned our lesson by now. This commander they are talking about him now as that Commander Thunderman who lost his life in the hands of his fellow Biafran Liberation Army. These people that are them are mentioned are they are all members of Liberation Army. Every one of them is to liberate Biafra. Liberate Biafra. You are fighting for Biafra. So what is the problem? What is the problem? Why is it difficult? What is the problem? We need to build a strong army to fight, not to take out our strong men. This is the problem we have been facing. We face this problem after the kidnapping of Mazen Nandekano. Nigerian government entered and planted their evil seed. The politician entered and pumped money into the liberation. That is one of the greatest damage they did to us. This is why some of us was crying when they kidnapped Mazen Nandekano. This is why some of us lost hope. Some of us were shouting. This is why we are demanding the unconditional release of Mazen Nandekano immediately, because we know what is going to happen. Because when the shepherd is not there, when the shepherd is not there, the sheep is bound to scatter. Even if not all of them, some of them are bound to run away. And before you recover them, you must have lost some. Everything that is happening today, the root of the atrocities you are seeing today, the disagreement you are seeing today, is the absence of Mazen Nandekano. After he has been able to build a very strong force with trust and commitment, after he has built a very strong force with trust and commitment, the enemy crept in. And when the enemy crept in, he crept in at a very wrong time. This evil we are fighting, they are very calculative. Do you know that these people knew very well? They knew very well that Mazen Samuel Ekpa is coming to step into the second command. They knew that Mazen Nandekano is elevating Mazen Samuel Ekpa to the second command. And they couldn't take it. They couldn't allow it to happen, because they know that if such announcement comes, there will be a successful handover. If anything happens, the process will continue without a distraction. And that was why they took Mazen Nandekano away, because before that ceremonial official introduction of our Prime Minister Mazen Samuel, they didn't allow that opportunity. And that created the gap. That created room for the enemies to penetrate and preach their evil propaganda, plant their evil seed. That even a lawyer that is supposed to be defending Biafra began to poke his nose into the affairs of Biafra people. Even the lawyer began to be interested in the power to control the Biafran struggle. A lawyer that was supposed to be speaking the voice of the Biafrans in the court began to poke his nose into the administration of the Biafran people. That when he heard that Mazen Samuel Ekpa was to take a charge, he said, over his dead body. And he went ahead to instigate people, instigate every single person in the key position of IPOB then. They were all instigated against Mazen Samuel Ekpa. And you know, power intoxication. Because of what they are told, and some of them are in the corridor of power, they know the influence that IPOB enjoys. And because of that, they don't want to allow someone else. They begin to imagine, how can this man that came yesterday, how can this one be, how can this one? And that envy and jealousy was planted to them, and they began to fight against something they were supposed to protect. Just as we are seeing today, if the DOS had some common sense and they sincerely would be, they would have been the one to protect Mazen Simon Ekpa by all means. They would have been the one to say, immediately Mazen Nandekano announced, allow him to broadcast. They would have been the one to guide him, and protect him and make sure that nothing happened. And I bet you the number of men we lost in the affair of Mazen, we would have not lost them. And Mazen Nandekano would have been out by now. would have been out by now. Mazen Nandekano would have been out by now. If they come down and work with our Prime Minister, Mazi Simon Ekpa Njoko, if the DOS had come out to work with Mazi Simon Ekpa Njoko, the case would have been very, very different. It would have been a different ball game. What you are seeing today, you will not see it. You will never see it. You will never see it. Wherever you are as a Biafran, I urge you in the name of Chukwuka, do not lose your focus. Continue to focus on the restoration of Biafra. Biafra is for you and I. It is for all of us. It is for, let us develop that spirit of tolerance. Everybody has a contribution to make, no matter how little, how small. When you disagree with your brother or your sister, don't say because of a little disagreement that that person is now a saboteur. The disagreement does not make him or her a saboteur. It is just a disagreement. We know there are people who are sabotaging the Biafran struggle, but let us not use this saboteur. Let us not abuse that word so much. Just like say, this one is working for Nigerian government. It is so easy for us to pronounce, even for little arguments. Some people, even on a platform, maybe because you say something in a platform and the person say, no, not this way. If it's not this way, before you know it, they will just tag you a saboteur, that you are sabotaging. Where are you sabotaging? I don't know. And the same thing today is what is causing the people that are facing the most dangerous aspect are those men on the ground. The men on the ground, those who are in the armed struggle on the ground. When they buy this idea of this is what I said, if you're not with me, you're a saboteur. If you're not with me, they now channel their energy on destroying their own brothers around them instead of focusing on the enemy. They began to buy this idea. If you are not working under me, you are not working for Biafra, you're working for Nigerian government, you must be under me. It is much more dangerous among those of them on the ground. I don't know how we are going to preach this message to make the men on the ground to understand that they are fighting for one cause. As long as your brother is not after your life, he is not after you, whichever area or territory you control, make sure you defend our people, stop the Janjaweed from coming in there, stop the terrorists from taking over, stop the terrorists both in uniform and off uniform. It is your duty. Your duty is not against your brother. Even if your brother is not working under your umbrella, as long as he's not standing in your way to do your job, why would you go after him? Why would you go after your brother? I don't want to be seeing that. It is painful. We are losing a lot of men in the hand of Nigeria, in the hand of the politicians. Why are we going to join them now to add to the number of people they are destroying our land? Simply because you don't agree with your brother. Can we try as much as possible to reduce these casualties? Can we try as much as possible to reduce this collateral damage? That is why we are telling them, men on the ground should come down and try to be on one page with the United States of Biafra government. Your loyalty should be to the United States of Biafra. It is not a loyalty to Dr. Ngozi Araboese. It is not. It is not. If you are loyal to Biafra, your mission should be to protect the life of the Biafran people, male, female, whether armed or unarmed. Once you see your brother, that's just like when we have the Mossab. You cannot see your brother simply because your brother is pursuing Biafra under Mossab. You tag him a one Nigerianist. You tag him a saboteur. You tag him a Nigerian informant. No, It doesn't work that way. It doesn't work that way. In other countries of the world, we have seen how they fought their own, though they have their misunderstandings among them. But we that are watching from distance, studying what happened during their own time now, finally understand that after they got that their freedom, even though while they were in the midst of that very pursuit of their freedom, they misunderstood each other and they thought they were enemies. All this is just supposed to be a lesson for us. So many people that have fought for their own independence during the time while they were busy fighting, they called names to each other. They fought each other. Some lost their lives. But at the end of the day, when that freedom finally came, every one of them came back together and united and spoke on the same voice. Now realizing that this is what they were fighting for, and they lay down their arms. When we look at what transpired in other places, that should be a lesson for us. Than that anybody that is speaking up for the same thing you are speaking for, it doesn't matter the language the person is using to speak it, or the direction or the angle. So long the person is genuinely going towards the same direction to get the same thing you are looking for, and it is for one purpose. Why should you take the person's life or get envious or get too angry about that? Why? 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 That update, I don't want to hear it. I don't want to see that update. It is scary because we have gone through that part before. We have gone through that part. And before you know it now, you will see the other camp will begin to say they're going to go for vengeance. That is how it escalates. When you take the life of your brother, those who now love him also, who believe that he was doing the right thing now, will also be targeting you. They are now seeing each other as an enemy. Even though you are going for the same cause, you will not develop enmity that you can no longer be able to function as a place. Now you spend the time you will use to go against the Fulanis and the government of Nigeria, and you're using it against your brother. It doesn't sound